Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 2, Episode 208. It is a Friday morning. We've already achieved our goal for the week, and now we're going to pile on some more money and cut into our deficit as far as where we should be by this date. Today is October 27th, and last night I had 2 or 3 choices. Mainly 2 choices I was considering, and I actually am doing a hybrid of one of those choices and something else that I hadn't mentioned. So I'm on my way this morning, a little bit early. I've been on my drive here for a while. The sun is just starting to come up. It is 66 degrees, and yesterday one of the choices that I had for a trip for today was going to Canada, and it reminded me of something that happened to me in Canada recently. Canada doesn't have $1 bills or $2 bills anymore. They stopped making them in like 1989 and 1996, I believe. And so they have a $1 coin. They call it a loonie. It's like a gold-colored coin, a little bit bigger than a quarter, a little smaller than a half dollar. And I had, as far as the change that I get from Canada, if it's a quarter or a nickel, I'll just spend it normally. I won't save it up and get $1 for $1.37. But so I had 5 of these loonies, and I don't want to be carrying that around all the time. So I went to the cashier and I asked them for a $5 bill. And she said, okay, no problem. And she gets out a $5 bill, and then she puts it back in the drawer and takes out another one, puts it back in the drawer. She does this 3 or 4 times. And then she gives me a $5 bill. And I'm like, what's up with this lady? Does she have a problem? She has to repeat things so many times? Or what's the deal? So I asked her, I said, what's wrong with the other $5 bills? And Canadian money now, the new Canadian money, if you haven't experienced it, is plastic. And she told me that if it's folded in half, a lot of slot machines won't take it. So you actually have to bend the money instead of folding the money like we do with like a crease in the money. They can't do that and have it work properly in a slot machine lots of times. So she thought that was my last $5 and was giving me a good $5 bill to put into the slot machine. So that was very nice of her. By the way, Canada doesn't have any more pennies either. So if you have a voucher for $8.38, they'll give you $8.40, which is interesting. And I think that could be abused a little bit. Someone I'm friends with that lives in Vancouver said that they round down if it's only 1 or 2 cents. But I don't believe that's true. But since he told me that, I've been to Canada a couple times, and every time my money has been 3, 4 cents, not 1 or 2. So I haven't experienced whether or not they round down or up. But I believe they only round up, as I recall. So, which, by the way, I feel like we're going to skip from canceling the $1 and $2 bills to skipping all the way up to a $10 bill, as expensive as things are getting. I was in a meeting late last night of political people, and I mentioned that you're better off these days quitting your job every year than getting a raise. Because if you quit your job, you'll get about an 8% raise with your new job because it's going with inflation. If you don't quit your job and you wait for your annual raise, you're going to end up with 2 or 3%. So it's crazy right now. And what was brought up in the meeting last night too is 60% of young families cannot afford a house. It used to be 40% less than 5 years ago. Now it's 60%. The values are going up so fast. The income is moving up so slow. And I blame a lot of things. Overspending, coronavirus spending. The city I'm going to right now is building 11 new bridges. They're building 11 new bridges, and all of that is coronavirus money. About 10% of the money went to actually fighting the virus, and 90% went to political interests. We are throwing money at the poor. Instead of educating and helping the poor, we are giving them a fish instead of teaching them how to fish. We need to invest money in education. The other thing is, interest rates are so high right now because of that overspending. And part of the problem too is people asking for more income. So even before this overspending, people wanted the minimum wage to be $7, then $10, then $15. Now we're seeing Walmart at $20. And what do you think that does? If you're an electrician and you're making $25 an hour in the Midwest, and Walmart is offering someone $20 an hour, why should you go become an electrician? Why should you become a laborer that was making $20 an hour if you can do that and work at McDonald's? And what that does is it has less people working those jobs, and the few people that are left are demanding more money, which causes more inflation. Not only that, but there's less people doing the work now, so you can't get a job done. I've been waiting for a generator for my house for a couple of years, and everyone I call tells me it's going to be 6 months before they call me back. I've got money in hand waiting for a product in an area that is more blue collar probably than a lot of areas in this country, and I can't find any workers. It's totally insane, out of control. Anyway, I'm on my way right now. I've got a 10 o'clock meeting and 11 o'clock meeting today. Other than that, I should be totally free, and I'm seeing the sky a little bit better. It looks like it's going to be mostly clear skies today. Beautiful day, and I'll be back to update you after my first stop. Alright guys, I am back. I went into the first spot and I was trying to time this properly. I figured if I could spend less than a half hour at this casino, then I could do a meeting on the phone while I drive to the next casino, and that meeting usually finishes early, and I may have 20 minutes at that casino before I have to go back to the car for the second meeting. And then when the second meeting is over, I would still be at that casino. I could hit the slots again because it would have been an hour later, and then play blackjack. So that's the mindset that I had going in, and I did what I was supposed to do. I only played for a short time. I did run through everything and found, whatever I could, and only ended up playing one machine, but I ended up ahead $109 on that machine. So when I first walked in, I entered in the next casino on the GPS so I could monitor what time it would be when I got there, and the time started to rise and rise and rise. And right now we're talking about I am 58 miles away from that casino now at this point in the trip, and I have an hour and a half to get there, so not ideal. So that would only give me 2 minutes until my second meeting starts to be able to play. So right now it looks like I'm not going to be able to play before it. I'm hoping that things will clear up a little bit, maybe the end of rush hour traffic or something like that, but I see a 15-minute and an 11-minute delay up ahead, so hopefully we luck out on that. If not, then we'll just sit in the car a little bit longer, and then we'll go in and play whatever we can. So I wanted to update you on something else too. I mentioned my son and those half dollars. We ended up going through 400 half dollars last night. He did not want to stop, and he got to sleep a couple hours late, but we went through 400 half dollars. He found 52 or 53 that he needed for his collection, and he put them in there, and he was so proud of himself. But the one downside, I noticed that getting these rolled up from the bank did not yield any silver. Normally I would get 20 or 30, and I would get a few silver at least. So I don't know what the deal is there, but I guess they've already been sorted through. And the other thing is, I don't know if you realize this, but people are collecting bicentennial quarters. They're not worth anymore, but there's a big demand for them. And same with bicentennial half dollars. And we found 40 or 50 of them for some reason. So it looked like someone may have gotten rid of their collection of them or something. And And then we did find two of them that were supposed to be in a proof set. They were, they had the S stamp on there, which means San Francisco, but only proof sets in those years were made in San Francisco. So I did get him a little case for each of those, and we found two and put those in there, and I gave him an extra case in case he finds one later. So he was really excited, and it was a lot of fun, and even some of the other kids joined in also, and it was a good time. So anyway, on my way to the second casino, I just got an update that said that there was a faster route to my trip, to my destination. So I did do that, and now I will arrive 12 minutes before, which is barely any time, but I think it's just enough time to check the important machines, and hopefully we get more time back here soon. So letting you go for now. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So here's what happened. Traffic got worse. There was a truck accident, and it slowed traffic down, and we had to take a couple detours, and I did not make it to the casino in time to play before my meeting. So I finished the first meeting in the car. It lasted almost the entire hour, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway, but the next meeting started, and went through that, and about 20 minutes into it, I figured that I'm probably not going to have to speak anymore, so I switched it over to my cell phone, and I was just going to go ahead and go into the casino. So as soon as I switched it over to my cell phone, we wrapped up the meeting, so it didn't matter anyway. I got in the casino, went for a walk, just played a few things that I saw, made my normal rounds, and then there's a machine in a corner, way far off corner, that's always checked all day long. And someone must have just been playing it and left, because this machine's got like 25 different betting levels, and on 3 of them or 4 of them there was a play, and I played it through, and actually ended up ahead a little over 100 on that machine, and I played another machine and made a couple bucks, but overall ended up ahead $116 on slots. So plus 116 on slots. Then I went to the blackjack area, high limit area, sat down at a $50 table, started playing, and just started losing right away. I won the first 3 hands, and then it just was a big slide from there. Another guy came to the table that I know, asked if he could sit down. The count was a running +2 pretty early on in the shoe, so I didn't mind. So he sat down and started playing. And right around the middle of the shoe, well, I don't think it was that shoe, maybe the second or third shoe, middle of the shoe, the count starts going up. And at this point, I'm ahead like, I don't know, $100 or something like that. So I start raising my bet, 50 to 100, 150, 200, 250, and the count's still going up. And I'm like, well, and you know, I'm not winning here. I'm slowly losing, but the count continues to go up and get better and better and better. So I'm raising my bet further. So 400, you know, it just kept on raising my bet. And finally things turned around. I was down as much as, I don't know, 1,300 or 1,200, something like that. But it was one of those things where I wasn't losing every hand, but I was losing like 2 out of 3, and we're wasting the good counts, it seems like. You know, you've been there before where, you know, the count is good, and you're losing, if you're playing 2 hands, you're pushing one and losing the other, instead of, you know, winning one and pushing or something like that. But anyway, things got better at the end of the shoe, and I ended up finally leaving. Now this place right now is very short-handed, and they're bringing in people that normally wouldn't deal. And in this case, it happened to be the guy that would normally be watching me, so I didn't want to go overboard. And I ended up leaving at the end of that shoe plus $812.50. So plus $812.50 on blackjack, plus 116 on slots, and I'm moving on to another casino right now. So letting you go. I'll be back to update you. Okay, guys, I am back. Went into that place and looked at all the slots first and saw nothing at all that was playable. Then I went back around and looked at blackjack tables. There was a $100 table, and I was okay with that, but it was halfway through the shoe, and it was in the low limit area because the high limit's closed temporarily. So they will not spread the cards no matter how long it's been. So in the low limit, they won't spread the cards. I mean, if it's been hours maybe, but generally they're not supposed to spread the cards. So I couldn't get in on a new shoe. I did find a table. It was a $25 table. Sat down at that one and started playing. Wanted to spread 25 to 250 on it, but never really got any counts. This table also had the Super 4 jackpot, and it was starting to get up there. If you'll recall, the Super 4 jackpot has a random jackpot that hits as part of the game. It must hit by either 200 or 500, depending on the casino. The casino I was in, it had to hit by 500. And as I said previously, and there's a whole episode about this in Season 1 and Season 2, once it gets to about 470, 480, you need to start looking at it and play it. So I played it starting in the high 470s, and it hit when it was 484 on the screen, but as it turned out, it was actually 494. The screen was behind. So I'm paying attention to that might be something too. So won that at 494. You don't have to sign or anything for it. You don't have to give your name. You can stay unrated. So that was good. At that point, playing $25 a hand, I had never raised to 50 yet because the count was so bad. I was on my second or third shoe, and I was down 450 on the blackjack portion. On the side bet, the Super 4 side bet, at that point I was only involved for 10, so I was down $5 before that hand, and I won. So with the Super 4, if the dealer gets an ace, you get $5. If the dealer gets a blackjack, you get $25. And then if they get a blackjack and you have trips, whatever, straight, flush, royal, whatever, you get more money. But that's not why I'm playing it. I'm playing it for this must hit by 500. So at that point, I was really like up 40 or 50 bucks overall, but I wasn't going to leave. I had only been there for about half an hour or so. Kept on playing and still never got any good counts. I think the biggest bet I placed was 100. And I did claw back. I got to plus 475 at one point with the side bet win, but ended up leaving plus 425 at the end of a shoe. So plus 425 overall, and I guess blackjack wise I was down about 60 or 70, I guess, and the rest was I was only in 10, then 484 profit off that side bet. So however that works out. So anyway, that was all good. So there was a guy sitting next to me that I thought I recognized from some online content, but I don't think it was him. I really thought it was him. It was a foreigner, and he talked like that person. He kind of looked like what I thought that guy looked like, but it wasn't him. And he was playing all the side bets possible. So obviously he didn't know what he was doing. He was just some guy. While I was there, I saw a listener. Nice to see you, man. You sounded surprised about this place and the other place I discussed with you. That means you're behind on the podcast here a little bit. So next time I see you, I want to hear that you caught up. Just joking. But anyway, I am at another casino right now. Just got here. I'm all caught up on my work. I'm just double checking my email and stuff. And I'm going to go in here. Most likely will not be able to play any blackjack at this place, which is okay. And something's wrong with my email. Interesting. So, okay. Letting you go for now, and I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. So I go into that casino expecting zero. looked around everywhere. I only found one machine to play. Actually, I guess two machines, and played those through. The table games were just awful, but I did play a couple slots and did plus $24. So plus $24 there. This place is halfway shut down right now, and things are kind of crazy. People walking around everywhere in the neighborhood. Not the most pleasant place to be right now. So right now I am going to head out of the city. It is already late afternoon. I am going to, I need gas in about 50 miles. I think I'm going to go about 50 miles out of the city, stop and get gas and food, and then move on to the next place. So letting you go for now. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. I had to get some more gas, obviously, our daily fill-up or 2 fill-ups of gas. Did that, got some food, and then continued on to the next casino. I went to the next casino, walked in, jam-packed casino. They're doing some kind of a thing for police and first responders and all kinds of stuff going on. And it was just so busy. Average age in there was probably 60 though. So I walked around, and as soon as I walked in, actually, I saw a friend of mine and a guy that he knows, and I walked up on them, and they were looking at a screen, and it had a play that was just positive, maybe just a little bit better than just positive, but it was $6 a spin. And the guy said that he brings $100 with him, and he's already down $59, and he didn't want to take it. So I said, look, I'll do it, and if it pays something right away, I'll give you a piece. So I sit down, play it through. The play fizzles out, it doesn't work out, but I still ended up ahead about $60. So I said, here you go. I gave him $10. And he said, oh, no, I don't want this. I said, look, you gave this to me. I promised you, here it is. So he gives it to the other guy who does nothing but gamble and is always completely busted. So I'm okay. All right, fine. Walk around, find a couple little things, nothing much at all. And then I'm watching a guy play a machine, and this machine has 5 different levels, and he's playing all the levels. I don't know why. I notice this happens a lot on this particular machine, where people play at all the different levels at the same time. And there was a play at 75 cents, and he was so close to hitting it, and another one was coming up behind it, and he runs out of money. So I'm standing like 5 feet from him. No one else is going to get to this machine before me. He's tinkering around on his phone and trying to text people and looking at how much free play he has on his app and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, I got this. So it takes him about 2 minutes, and he figures out how to hook it up to his bank account and put money in it that way, and continues to play it. And it hit me right then that we're facing a different crisis as advantage players. Not only do we have to worry about cash going away and people being forced to use a card, but we're also facing the reality that people can fund their play through their phone now, and that's bad for everyone. It's bad for us because there's no leftover plays. People keep on playing and playing and playing till they lose everything that they have, and then maybe not have a play for us. But also think about the people who are losing all their money, and there's all these false screens that make you think, oh man, I just got 2 out of 3, it's gonna hit soon, and oh, it's so close. And it's not close. I don't care, it is not close, and you're gonna lose all your money. And it's so sad. And I've said this before, I think I have, months ago. I was standing behind a lady that was waiting in line at the cashier. She told me how she woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and couldn't sleep, and she lost her whole monthly check playing slot machines online at the casino we were at, but it was an online version of that casino. And it's so sad to see that. But anyway, the guy ended up putting that money on there. I walked away. I come back around. He hit the first part of it. He's close to the second part. Then he switches bet levels, and he's a million miles away, and he's playing 10 times the bet amount. So now he lost all the money back again, reloading it again, and finally I ended up walking away. Eventually he's going to hit it because he keeps going back and forth. But anyway, so after all this happens, the same guy that was sitting at the machine that he gave me when I walked in, he comes up to me and he says, "Hey, there's another play on that if you want it. I'm not playing it for that much." It was another play at the same bet level. It's a high bet level. I don't blame him. And this one was definitely borderline. And I said to myself, it's going to either take $300 or $400 from me, or it's going to pay me $300 or $400. And it actually ended up paying me. It cost me $180 to hit, and it paid like $500 or so, $450 actually, exactly $450. And anyway, for the whole session, I ended up ahead $330. So not bad. That thing should have paid a lot more than that, but I'm not going to complain about $450. So let's see, what else? Oh yeah, I think I talked about the guy who's been sleeping at the slot machine. I saw him again sleeping at the slot machine. It's so crazy. Nobody's stopping the guy. I feel bad for people like that. And then I found a couple really nice plays on a machine that nobody really checks today. That felt good. I saw a van for sale, and I'm really thinking about buying it as another car. Not that I don't have enough cars right now, but it's $12,900, and it seems like it would be just as good as a Sprinter. It's a Ford, and there's no windows in the back. It's enclosed, and it's got a roof rack on it, so that might be a good opportunity. I'm going to think about that, and if it's still there in a few days, I'll probably go take a look at it and test drive it and decide what to do with it. I think that would be really good for me, especially on those days where I got that 40-hour trip and I don't want to sleep at a rest area. I don't want to pay for a hotel or be tied down to a hotel room for too long. It would be really good if I had a vehicle like that I could sleep in for an hour or two and then continue on more safely. So anyway, all right, letting you go for now. I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So got a phone call from home, and I totally forgot. I don't know how I forgot, but in our neighborhood tonight is trick-or-treating. So, oh man, I am so far away, though. I'm heading toward home. I don't think I'm going to make it. Just feel bad. You know, ever since we moved to this neighborhood and the kids were babies, I've always been the one that stayed in the house and gave out candy to everybody else in the neighborhood, and while my kids went around and got candy. And I remember when we first moved in, there was no kids in the neighborhood, and our first one was the first kid, and now there's over 30 kids, maybe 35 kids in this neighborhood of about 25 houses. So anyway, heading back toward home now. Good day so far. It was a good day. I don't think I'm going to do anything else. I say so far, but you never know. If my wife wants to do something tonight, I like to swing by the casino and just check things. And last night she said, maybe we can have a date night soon, and maybe for once, let's not stop by the casino. I'm like, this is how I'm paying for it. You know, it's like, a date night costs us, what, $150 or something. Go to the casino, pick up a couple hundred, it's a free date night. What do you want from me? But she's so turned off by casinos. She understands what I'm doing and how I'm making money, and she understands the math of it, or says that she does, but she hates me being in casinos and around people like that. You are who you hang around, and she is right. But I don't fall into those traps for the most part. I'm not going to say I'm perfect, but I'm normally in and out of the casino, and I play things the right way. But anyway, this week we made about $1,500 above the goal for the week, which helps cut into the deficit for the year as far as year-to-date deficit compared to where we should be to get our goal. I think about 4 more weeks like that, and we'll be back on target. Finally starting to forget about what happened in Vegas, and it's gone. It's going to be gone. But like I said, I am working on going somewhere in the south, maybe for 3 or 4 days. We'll see how that goes. And then I will be somewhere else in the Midwest, about 7 or 8 hours away, for Thanksgiving as well. So that's 2 trips in November. And then in December, we'll probably be back in Vegas. So we'll see about that. So I'll let you know as things happen here. Right now it's about 70 degrees. When I left home this morning, it was cloudy, and I drove into a clear sky area, and now I'm leaving that area and moving back into the clouds. So 70 degrees, no wind outside. Good day for trick-or-treating. I'm going to let you go and be with the family, and have a good weekend, everybody. Questions or comments, mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.